Imagine a ship drifting silently in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. The waves crash against its hull. The sails are torn but still catching the wind, and the wheel turns slowly. Yet not a single soul is on board. No signs of violence, no signs of panic. The food is still on the table, the cargo untouched, and the lifeboat missing. This isn't the plot of a ghost story. It's one of the greatest real-life mysteries in maritime history. This is the story of the Mary Celeste. On December 5th, 1872, the British ship Dei Gratia spotted another vessel drifting aimlessly between Portugal and the Azores. The sea was calm that morning, but something about the ship in the distance felt off. Its sails flapped loosely, and no one answered the signals. When Captain David Morehouse of the Dei Gratia decided to approach, he recognized the ship's name painted on its bow, Mary Celeste, a merchant brigantine that had left New York City just a few weeks earlier. Morehouse actually knew the Mary Celeste's captain, Benjamin Briggs. They had even dined together before each man set sail. So when the boarding party reached the ghostly ship, what they found chilled them to the bone. The Mary Celeste was completely deserted. The ship was still seaworthy, with its cargo of industrial alcohol fully intact. The crew's personal belongings, including clothing, pipes, and even a sewing machine, were untouched. The galley still had food supplies for 6 months, and there were no signs of struggle, blood, or violence. But the lifeboat was gone. The ship's logbook stopped abruptly on November 25th, 9 days earlier, when everything seemed normal. According to the last entry, the ship had been near the Azore Islands and the weather was fair. So what happened between that calm entry and the moment it was found adrift? Investigators searched for clues. The cargo, 1,701 barrels of alcohol, was found mostly intact, though 9 barrels were empty. These barrels were made of red oak, not white oak, meaning they were more porous and could have leaked fumes. Some speculated that alcohol vapors might have escaped and created the illusion of an impending explosion. Perhaps Captain Briggs, fearing a fire, ordered everyone into the lifeboat temporarily, only for a sudden gust of wind or current to separate them from the ship forever. But others doubted that theory. Briggs was an experienced sailor, known for his calm and rational judgment. Would such a man abandon a perfectly seaworthy ship in the middle of the ocean without any real sign of danger? Theories began to multiply. Pirates were suggested, but nothing was stolen. Mutiny was whispered, but there was no evidence of a struggle. Seaquakes, sudden waterspouts, or even giant squids were brought up in newspapers at the time. But the strangest part was that the Mary Celeste continued its journey. The Dei Gratia's crew sailed her to Gibraltar, where a formal inquiry began. British officials examined the ship from bow to stern. They found deep cuts on the bow, which some thought might be battle damage, but later proved to be natural wear. The pumps were dismantled, suggesting the crew might have believed the ship was taking on water, though the hull was dry. In the captain's cabin, they found charts, a sword, and a few scattered papers, but nothing that explained the disappearance. Captain Briggs's wife and 2-year-old daughter were also on board, making it even more tragic. An entire family and 7 crew members gone without a trace. What's more, the ship's log didn't show panic or warning, just routine entries about wind direction and course. For the next century, the Mary Celeste would become the symbol of maritime mystery. The public imagination filled in the blanks where history could not. Novels, newspaper serials, and pulp magazines exaggerated the story, adding ghostly lights, curses, and sea monsters. Even Arthur Conan Doyle, the creator of Sherlock Holmes, wrote a fictionalized version that gave birth to the phrase, Ghost Ship. But beneath the legend, the facts remain stubbornly ordinary and unsolved. Some modern historians think the explanation lies in a perfect storm of bad luck. The barometer readings found on board showed the weather had changed suddenly. A storm may have hit the region just after the last log entry, filling the ship's deck with water and making Briggs think she was sinking. With his wife and child aboard, he might have chosen to temporarily evacuate to the lifeboat, intending to return once the danger passed. But if the rope connecting the lifeboat to the ship snapped, the current could have carried them away quickly. Others believe the alcohol fumes caused a minor explosion or loud whoosh, enough to terrify the crew but not leave lasting damage. Tests have shown that alcohol vapors can ignite without leaving soot or burn marks. It's possible Briggs ordered everyone off until the fumes cleared, but fate gave them no second chance. Then there are the wilder theories, alien abduction, time slips, or even giant squids. But these say more about our need for mystery than about the evidence. Interestingly, few people know that after being salvaged, the Mary Celeste continued to sail for another 12 years. But her later career was plagued with bad luck, failed voyages, financial trouble, and finally, a suspicious wreck near Haiti in 1885. The ship's new captain deliberately crashed her into a reef as part of an insurance scam. The fraud was discovered, and the cursed reputation of the Mary Celeste was sealed forever. Even then, the mystery of its ghostly voyage remained unsolved. No bodies were ever found, no trace of the lifeboat, no message in a bottle, just silence across the Atlantic. Over time, researchers revisited the evidence, hoping modern science might reveal the truth. But every investigation leads back to the same haunting image: a ship adrift, perfectly intact, crew vanished. Maritime experts argue that human error remains the most likely cause, but human fear, imagination, and the vast unpredictability of the ocean may have filled the rest. The Mary Celeste reminds us that even in an age of rationality, the sea still keeps its secrets. The ocean is vast, and even the most experienced sailors are vulnerable to its moods. A shift in weather, a leak of gas, a misjudged distance. Any of these could turn a routine voyage into a legend. Yet the question remains, why did no one survive to tell the story? Why was there no sign, no debris, no call for help? It's as if the entire crew simply stepped into the air and vanished. When you imagine that empty ship, its sails creaking in the wind, its wheel turning slowly to nowhere, you can almost feel the ghost of their last decision, the moment when reason met fear, a decision made in panic or hope, forever frozen in time. We may never know what truly happened aboard the Mary Celeste, and perhaps that's what makes the story endure. The real terror lies not in what we can see, but in what's missing. The silence of the sea, the unanswered questions, and the image of a ship, adrift, empty, eternal, carry more weight than any ghost story. Maybe the Mary Celeste isn't haunted by spirits, but by the haunting absence of explanation. And so from more than a century later, one question still echoes across the Atlantic. What really happened to the crew of the Mary Celeste?